Hi, my name's Cameron Carlson with AnimeOnLocation.tv. I'm here at Ohayocon 2018 with Miss Andrea
Caprotti.
Hooray! So, how did you get started in the world of art and entertainment?
When I was younger, me and my mom watched a lot of cartoons together. My mom's from Brazil, and Brazil had a lot of really, really cool old anime being shown on TV. So I got really into it, and then when I grew up, my mom was like, people make that, right? And I was like, what? And people can actually make a living making out of doing that stuff. And so my mom, thankfully, she was an artist too, so she pushed me into following my anime dreams.
Sweet! So what show or movie and entertainment inspires you?
So I grew up with a lot of Japanese media, so a lot of magical girl shows when I was younger. Kagura Sakura is my favorite show ever. My second show is Fooly Cooly.
Nice.
I think that was the first show that I saw, and I was like, animation can do a bunch of different stuff. So I got a Fooly Cooly tattoo, so I'm a real anime fan. Yeah, there we go. I'm not fake. I'm not a fake anime fan. Yeah, and just a lot of stuff from different artists. I went to a summer program in France at one point, so a lot of French animation also inspires me, and just live action movies. Anything that looks cool and looks different, I just check it out.
So going along with that, is there any scene or character that gives you that wow factor when you see it on screen or see it in a movie that you're just like, okay, I really get what the director was going for or the animator was going for? So what's one of those wow factors that you're just like, that was really cool, and I hope somebody could do it again or never again?
Or never again. Where I keep thinking, I keep changing who my favorite 2D director is, and I think right now my favorite director is Yuasa Masaki. He did Devilman Crybaby that was on Netflix that came out recently, and he also did this one series called Tatami Galaxy that was his first series that I saw. But there is this one scene, because he also directed an Adventure Time episode that is about the life cycle of a bug, and I remember I worked at Cartoon Network when that show came out, when that episode came out, and I remember watching that and being this is Adventure Time, but it looks so cool. It looks so different from what it is.
From what it's normally is.
Yeah, exactly. And so at Rooster Teeth, I work at Rooster Teeth. At Rooster Teeth, we do some stuff with Red vs. Blue, with season 14 too, where we had a bunch of guest directors come on and do that kind of stuff. So just seeing what other people can do to something that already exists, I think is the coolest thing ever.
Alrighty, so you also work on a podcast called No Script at All. How has that been going?
So I have a podcast called No Script at All with my very good friend Brendan Bigley. Hi, Brendan. He lives in New York City, and it's about Terrace House, which is a Netflix reality TV show, a Japanese Netflix reality TV show. And it's the most polite reality TV show ever, because everyone's just a good adult. Well, most people are good adults who just live their lives. And it's going pretty good. We have a pretty good fan base. Unfortunately, we're on hiatus right now because Brendan got a very good job opportunity. Hint. So eventually we're gonna get back on it. But please watch Terrace House, and please listen to our show.
All right, I'll have to check it out. So it also says in your bio that you happen to work on the game Recore for Microsoft. How was that working on that project, and then of course working on a huge company like Microsoft on that project?
So Recore was actually made at a studio called Armature Studio in Austin, Texas.
That's right.
Yeah, it was created by some of the people that used to work at Retro Games.
Yep.
And worked on Metroid Prime,
right.
And then they branched off and made their own studio. It was the first job I got in Austin. I actually moved to Austin for that job. I met a lot of the really cool people there, and it was my first time working at a AAA studio. It was really cool. Unfortunately, I got laid off, but that's just the reality of the studio, and I have no ill feelings against them at all or anything. But the game was really fun when it worked.
Alrighty, I mean, I'm a big video game fan, so I kind of understand the industry, and I understand that and how it just kind of ebbs and flows and all that type of jazz. So it's
go with it, man. You just gotta go with it.
So going back into this, you happen to be multilingual, being able to speak 4 different languages, being Japanese, English, Portuguese, and Spanish. So what's it like being able to do that, bringing your art to more people in different countries and different languages, and giving that experience back to people through your art?
So I grew up with, so I'm first generation American. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. My mom's Brazilian, my dad's Italian. I don't speak Italian, but he did teach me English fluently, which is why I don't speak with a Puerto Rican accent. Not that there's anything wrong with it. That's how I speak. And then when I was younger, I went to Japan for a year as an exchange student, and I learned Japanese when I was living there, because I lived in a tiny city where I was the only person who spoke English, and if I didn't speak Japanese, I wasn't going to have any friends. Or food. Well, I mean, I lived with a host family. They were contractually obligated to give me at least food and water. Shelter sometimes, so. No, they're great. I love them. But having those experiences growing up with going to Italy to visit my family and not understand what they're saying, or like going to Brazil where like all these different aspects of like Japanese media and like media from other countries like France and stuff were already like being syndicated there, really helped me kind of understand like how stories are told in different countries and in different cultures. Like, I grew up like watching Felix the Cat and watching like Asterisk, which are like shows that aren't really that big here in the States. So I think though, like those experience of me like having like that media to fall back on helped me kind of understand the perspectives that I can get to people in my different artworks. I try.
Alrighty, so it says in your bio that your mother, again, watched mecha anime with you. What was some of the favorites to watch with her? It's really, we don't get a lot of moms who introduce the kids to anime. It's usually the dads who do. So what's it like being introduced to the mecha stuff with your mom of all people?
Dude, it was dope. Like, my mom is honestly the coolest mom ever. I mean, she's okay, but like we used to grow up watching. We used to watch Macross.
Yeah.
Like in Zoids, because it was being syndicated in Brazil.
Yeah.
And like in Brazil, they don't cut anything. So like I remember we watched Cardcaptors and stuff too, like Cardcaptor Sakura. And like Cardcaptors in this US was like heavily edited for like content, because like one of the little girls was dating their teacher, and like Sakura's brother was gay. We all know he's gay. Come on. But when I went to Brazil, because I moved to Brazil for a bit, I was like, wow, this show is like actually like there's like pretty deep stuff. And so me and my mom started watching more stuff when we were living in Brazil, kind of as a bonding experience. So we watched Macross, we watched a lot of Gundam. She loves G Gundam, and I think she thinks G Gundam's the best Gundam, and I think Wing is the best Gundam. And we fight about that all the time. And so Unicorn's also really good. I'm trying to get her to watch Unicorn now.
With Mike Nicholas.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Dude, I love Unicorn. It's so good.
He's here this weekend.
Is he really?
Yeah, Mr. Nicholas should be here, right? Well, I just mispronounced.
Okay, yeah.
I mispronounced his name. It's Sinter Nicholas, not Sinter Nicholas.
There we go. Get that in post. It's fine. And so like we grew up watching that stuff. My mom doesn't really watch that much anime now, because she thinks it's for kids, even though she was watching it when she was like 30 years old. So, but it was really cool. Like she also is like a really big fan of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And like we've watched like for the first and second part with her. She's like doing Stardust Crusaders now, and we have opinions about it. But anyway, it's really cool growing up in an environment where like your mom also is like just as nerdy into the stuff that you are. And also it was kind of fun, because I got to watch Berserk when I was like 10 years old, which is like not a thing
for a 10-year-old.
No, it's not. No, don't do that. But I remember it being really cool, and I was like, wow, I love this. So many guts. The first page of I read the manga, and the first page was like, wow.
Yeah.
We're having sex. Anyway, it was fun. Thanks, Mom.
We love moms. So it also says that you love K-pop bands, and and how is it to see their influence now here in America? Sometimes even being on normal radio. Like, what's that like, seeing that and being a fan of them, and just being able to like, hey, they're actually normal bands. Yeah. So what's it like seeing that and being a fan of them before they like got big in America?
So I'm gonna be real a second. Like, I only got into K-pop like 2.5-3 years ago, so I'm not that real of a fan. Like, when Girls' Generation came out, I saw G, and I was like, that's cute. J-pop is still good, I guess. But like, my friends made me see the light. It's really cool. Like, I mean, I like girl bands. Like, girl bands are my favorite bands. Like, I like Red Velvet. I like Red Velvet. I like G-Friend. I like Twice. And like, but like BTS is like the one boy band that I'm really into. And like the fact that they were able to come to the States and like be on Ellen DeGeneres for like no reason is like really cool. So it really helps validate like the people who really got into this genre of pop, because it is really different. It's like a very, very niche like genre of like good pop that's like made by like really good producers. But people like tend to say like, oh, it's just done because it's like made by like another country, or another country, which is like kind of messed up. But the fact that people are actually listening to it, like my mom listened to BTS and was like, I don't know what they're saying, but that sounds sick as hell.
Fun, yeah.
So yeah, it's been really nice, and I hope it keeps happening.
Awesome. So is there a way for fans to keep up with you on the internet? like via, I know you have a cool Twitter, which we've chatted through Twitter a couple times.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any other social media, so if there's any social media you want everybody to follow you on, please do. And then a final message for all the fans that have kept up with you with your art.
So, Twitter is probably the thing that I use the most, so please follow me on Twitter at IriSmile, AIRI, and then smile, like this. And then I have a Tumblr, but honestly, don't get off Tumblr, go to Twitter. Twitter is much better. And my final message, I guess, is like, thanks, man. Like, y'all have been super cool. I've been able to go to these conventions, like, a few every single year and meet all the nice, super cool people who are just genuinely excited to just be here and be surrounded by people. I grew up in Puerto Rico where it wasn't an anime convention at all. And like, if there was a YMCA comics gathering that we like used to like make our own costumes and go to when I was like 6-7 years old. Y'all are spoiled right now, all right? Like, back in my day, you had to like torrent an episode of anime for like a week, and then it ended up being like a Rickroll, and it was the worst thing in the world. But now you have a legitimate ways to watch anime like Netflix and Crunchyroll, which you should use. And yeah, just anyway, to the fans, just keep doing what you want, and thanks so much for following me on this journey, and see y'all later.
Well, thank you, Andrea. It's been wonderful chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Nice. I've had a lot of coffee, so I'm about to crash. So y'all got me at the perfect time. So thank you very much.